Welcome back to Racing to Win. We're working our way through the meeting at Sha Tin on Wednesday night with all 9 races on the all weather. We've seen race number 4. We're going to have a look at race number 8 right now, and it's over the 1,200 metres for the Class 3s. Party Warrior comes here to this surface for the first time. Super Win Dragon carries an extra £9 for his easy win. Red Desert's a 3-time course and distance winner. Rev Parisian, first time on the surface. Glorious Starlight has the hood going on. Folds has his first start for Jamie Richards. Jolly Ruler, first up for the season, carries an extra £7 for the win back in July. Lucky Quality has the visor going off. And Call Me Teddy, who was beaten favourite last time, eligible for the top of Class 4, but elected to go around here, has Michael Cheng with the lightweight for Jack Wong. 1,200 metre race here, Tom, so you know they're going to speed along. It's expected to be good. Who finds the top?
California Veins should be able to. He was pretty much on the speed when he won on the all-weather surface 2 stars ago, despite stumbling at the start. Jolly Ruler, he can sit handy from his draw of 5. Looks a little tricky for Jerry Chow on the Rev Parisian, Paul, out of barrier number 9, but he has trialled well on the surface. He
does, yeah. So he's going to have to work a little bit to get across, and that should put the pace into the race. Horses like Lucky Quality, they've gone back. Glorious Starlight. Red Desert generally goes back over 1,200 metres and goes forward over 1,650. And Ice Legend, although he's got an inside draw with that pace, I think he'll be sort of midfield towards the back.
We know on the all-weather you can sit wide and still win, especially over the 1,200 metres.
Definitely.
All right. That horse there is going to be our focus. That horse is Folds. He's one of a number of new horses that Jamie Richards has debuted in the last couple of weeks. He got 2 in at the meeting. Call Me Lou is 1 and Folds is the other.
Jamie, Folds will be your first runner, or one of your first, on the all-weather here in Hong Kong. He's trialled well recently, this fella.
Yeah, he's a transfer, but he's trialled up a couple of times quite well. He's quite a big horse. Been pleased with his trials. We put the blinkers on him for his second trial and he seemed to cruise to the line quite nicely, but it's a bit of a learning curve with him really. He's bred to be okay on the dirt. He's out of a mineshaft mare and the owners were keen to have a go, so we thought we'd give him a chance first up and see how we get on.
Just an overall sort of assessment of those 2 trials that he's had for you. I mean, the last of them, he got his head in front, albeit just of Flying Ace, who's a handy horse. So I guess reading between the lines, he's certainly operated well on the surface, hasn't he?
He has, and he is a horse that raced well last season. And he's one of those horses, like most of them in Hong Kong, that when they have a break and come back for their second season, they do seem to improve a little bit. But we've been happy with him at home. He's been under no pressure in his trials. It's just going to be interesting from a learning perspective for me how the tempo is and how he handles that race day speed compared to trial speed, which is obviously quite different. But we are happy with him. We've put the pacifiers on him to help with the kickback. I'm not sure what sort of effect that has, but as I say, it's a learning experience for me and for the horse.
You mentioned obviously him being sort of a nice type of horse. I think he's put on 13 pounds or thereabouts. So are you happy with the way he's strengthened up since you've had him?
Yeah, he's put on a bit of weight. He wouldn't be the greatest eater for a horse of his size, and he doesn't seem to be a horse that takes a whole lot of work. So we've just tiptoed our way through the preparation a bit with him and learning as we go, but happy with how he's eating and his blood work seems good. So we go to the races happy with the horse, but as I say, race day pressure compared to trial pressure on the all-weather, we'll just have to wait and see.
Handicap has only given him an extra £1. He's only got an extra £1 to carry on his last start, which obviously wasn't for you. So I guess he's not too badly treated in the grand scheme of things. And what looks relatively open this race?
Yeah, Chris So's horse has got good form. He was impressive last time, and the clock suggests that the win was as good as it looked to the eye. But you know, the Class 3 1200 on the grass here on Sunday was an awful lot stronger than it is on Wednesday. So there's positives and minuses for him, but he goes into the race in good shape.
I guess if he does handle the surface, Jamie, it gives you plenty of options going forward.
It does. As you say, he can continue to race on it if he handles it. If he doesn't handle it, it's only his first run for the season and we can get him back on the turf.
Jamie Richards there, Tom. Folds, those 2 trials behind good horses. Yes, Flying Ace was beaten last Wednesday night, but the other one was behind Stronger.
Yeah, and Stronger, we know what a good horse he is. He hasn't quite fronted up in his couple of runs this time round, but he's a Group 1 winner just the same. And he's got ability, this horse, for sure. We saw that when he did win a couple of runs ago. And
on that day, there was rain around as well. So, look, with that rain around in his pedigree, I think he's going to go quite well here on the all-weather.
OK, so that's Folds. We move on now to our next replay, and we've got an impressive Super Wind Dragon. That is him right there at the top of the straight. Call Me Teddy's buried in behind in the yellow and orange. Red Desert's out very wide on the course. Flying Bonus, he led up, and Everyone's Victory. He was very disappointing, and there was nothing in the steward's report. He's been back to the trials since then. But Super Wind Dragon, Paul, the big thing about this guy is not only the win last time, he's drawn a gate on Wednesday night. Yeah, I don't know if... Look, on paper, you're right, but Burial won for him. He's not going to lead, and I just wondered with the quick kickback with him. And saying that, look, he has been drawing wide and going back, so there's definitely options now for the team, but... if there was a negative, I know that sounds a bit strange, I'd say it's Barrier 1. Yeah, potentially, but he's come through a recent trial at Happy Valley. He looked good in that trial, and he broke 1.8 there for the 1,200 metres, so it was really smart. California Veins, Tom. This is on the turf last time, but he won't mind coming back to the all-weather because his only start on the surface was a victory. Yeah, and I don't really know how strong that race was. I don't think it was overly strong. He beat Miracles there. Yes, he stumbled at the start. He was up near the pointy end and probably got conditions to suit. But I sort of question the format of that race. But to his credit, Paul, he's come up and fronted up here in a Class 3 race behind Happy Sharing, and we know he's going exceptionally well at the moment. Yeah, and look, all that proved, I think, you're right, on that all-weather is that he can handle it. Because he went to the front, he led. He's going to be in the front, he's going to be out of trouble, and the stable's absolutely flying at the moment, Tony Cruz's horses. So, look, I think he's a major chance. Show Ice Legend here, Paul. He's a horse that you've had some time for in the past. He's had one go on the all-weather. That was over the 1650. 2 runs back from a spell and switches surfaces from this run. His first run up this season was better than this one, though. Yeah, it was. Look, and again, he's drawn inside as well, Barrier 2. He's a horse that gets back. You can see he's better when he's running on strongly. I just don't know if the 2's going to be ideal for him either. I'd prefer him sort of 7 or 8 where he can get back and come down the outside. So, look, I didn't put him in. I know I've been a fan of the horse in the past, but he didn't quite get in for me. He hasn't been beaten overly far there, and he might have just been slightly balked for a run at the top of the straight. I didn't get him in either, but I didn't think it was the worst of runs there from him, Ice Legend. So I'd be, if you were playing wider exotics, I'd keep him safe. Benno, this is his record this season, Tom, on the all-weather. It's been an amazing start from 7 runners. Yeah, well, him and Zach cleaned up, what was it, about the 9th, I think, of October. They cleaned up on the all-weather. 3 wins there, a couple of minor placings, a 3rd as well. And this is what he's got coming up on Wednesday night, Paul. A couple of big boys to start with, Runde's Run and Cool Celeb. Yeah, they are. Well, Runde's Run's the biggest horse here, isn't he? Fiery Diamond's one of those winners. Yes, We Can was one of those winners as well. So both those 2 are there, and Ice Legend. Handsome 12 was the 3rd. So they're the 3 winners. They're all running again. Stable worth following again on Wednesday night? Yeah, for sure. All right, so Benno Young there, 7 starters for 3 wins and 3 placings as well. Back to the trials now, and Chung Fa we head to. Tom, Jolly Ruler went to the paddock at the end of the season. A winner last time. What's he done since he's been back? Well, he did, and that was over Super Wind Dragon. We know that form's been frank there because we saw him a moment ago beating Man Star at his trials. I think both looked good up at Chung Fa. He's never normally done much, Paul, in his first 2 runs, but he seems to have trialled up pretty well, I thought. Yeah, he has, and look, I think the surface is good for him as well. He's had 2 goes on it, and he's won one of them as well on the all-weather. So, look, he definitely goes in for me. Not in a win line because, as you say, just that fresh-up record worries me a bit. OK, we stay at the trials now after Jolly Ruler, and this is Rev Parisian. That's him there, Paul, down on the inside. He's having his 2nd start for Pierre Ung, his first start on the all-weather on Wednesday night. The horse that wins the trial is not a bad animal. He's a horse called Wellington. Yeah, he goes all right. Now, it was a good trial, there's no question about this. This is a tough field he's come up against. He's got that wide draw, but as Tom says, you can win from a wide draw. He was right on the cusp for me. He didn't quite make it in, but I wouldn't be surprised if he ran well. Excuses last start, he was wide and he put up with a lameness issue, lame in the left front leg, but he's won his trial here nicely. Of course, that's Wellington challenging there on the outside, and Pierre Ung, his stable's going really well at the moment also.
He's drawn a wide draw, but I'm going to include him on that trial for sure.
Okay, so that's Rev Parisian. How good was Wellington on the weekend?
Oh, fantastic.
Outstanding.
Yeah, £135 on his back. But we need to concentrate on Wednesday night. In particular, please, Paul, selections for race 8.
I'm going to go with the horse who's 1 for 1 on the surface. That's California Veins. He is with the stable of Tony Cruz, going really well at the moment. It just gets a bit of weight off these other horses. Super Wind Dragon, he goes in there for second. Folds for third, and Jolly Ruler. We've talked about all those horses. 9, 2, 7 and 8.
Super Wind Dragon, he was very strong last time out. Whether barrier 1's going to suit him, but we'll find out. But he raced away for an easy win by 2.5 lengths and good time as well, 1:7.95 and home in less than 22. So 2 to beat 7 folds. I think he'll certainly come on for the run. He's trialled up well enough leading into this. Jolly Ruler goes in nice enough, 2 trials from him. And I did like the trial there from Rev Parisian as well. And Jerry Chow's found a bit of form in the last week or 10 days and did win that trial nicely there over Wellington. At Rev Parisian. So 2, 7, 8 and 5.